The Palestinian American Coalition of San Francisco Board of Directors and volunteers have been tirelessly working to organize an exciting program for the biggest event of the year. Join us for the 44th Palestine Cultural Festival on Saturday, September 9, 2023 from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. at Leo Ryan Park in Foster City, California. Come enjoy your favorite great Middle East food and music by amazing, famous artists and Debke performers. Also arts and crafts and variety of Middle East products and many distinguished guests. So, if you are interested, go online to sign up if you like to rent a booth or become a volunteer. Your help and support is much needed. I'll be looking forward to see you all there. Thank you. And now I would like to welcome all of you to our Arab American Variety Talk Show. I'm Suad ASFOUR, along with my co-host Salwa Ghamrawi, and our guest today is Wafa Almahamid. Wafa was born and raised in Syria. She has an architectural background and a master's degree in psychology. Wafa experienced many challenges and hardships along her life journey and had to work harder to improve her self-love and confidence. She felt the need to share her experience with others in the hope that she can make their path easier. She hopes that others who are searching for self-love can learn from her experience. Wafa believes we are all connected and that ultimately helping others is the key to helping ourselves. Wafa, congratulations on your book. It's really informative.
Thank you.
I really like it, and you deserve to be featured in our program, you and your book.
Thank you.
And
My
I feel
pleasure.
like I'm interviewing movie star.
Thank you.
You're
I'm
an author
honored
of
to
the
be
book.
here. Thank you.
So let's ask you the first question about what made you write the book?
I wanted to share with people, I wanted to share my experience. First when I heard the term self-love years ago, I didn't know what it means, and I was curious.
Yes.
So I felt the need to learn more, and I did, and it was worth it. I went on a journey of self-love and improving my self-love and practiced it, and now I feel like it's worth it, and I wanted to share this with other people that need it too.
So you inspired yourself by yourself to help others.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a
Helping
good
is
inspiration
a good thing.
on your behalf.
It's great to have you, Wafa.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank
to
you,
our
Salwa.
show. For how long you've been writing?
This
is
is
your first time?
actually my first time. Yeah, this is my
Your very first book.
my first book. Yes.
So how was it?
It was challenging but great. You know, it's nice to see a full product like in front of you. It's just becoming a reality.
It's like a new baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so tell us about the book. What the time period you wrote it, how long it took you to write. I kind of understand during COVID.
Yeah, so during COVID, I went and pursued my master's.
You got your master's degree?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you, in psychology. And part of my, part of the program is about, you know, self-development, because I am interested in it, you know, a long time ago. So after I finished, and you know, when you're doing the program, there's a lot of writings and researches. So I enjoyed this part. So I pretty much collected a lot of my work and made it that is related to self-love and made it in a book.
From your own knowledge.
Exactly, yes.
Wow.
I mean, yes, of course. The book is basically instructional book, and it was based on a lot of researches and articles that are, some of them are scholarly and some of them are not, but it was written from my own perspective and my own vision about self-love.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
So what did you learn writing this book, during writing this book and preparing and researching, so to make it happen as a book?
It's a lot of work, for sure.
I learned that there's a lot more to learn.
We
That's-
keep,
that's
the more we
beautiful.
learn, the more we know that we need to learn.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, I've been on a journey of self-love for a long time, years, but yet while I was doing these researches just to assemble the book, I learned new things. There was a lot of other information that I didn't hear of, and it amazed me how hard, like there's so much information
lot.
out there in
And
this
too much
universe and
work.
knowledge that it takes you probably more than a lifetime to grasp.
Wow.
you know.
Wow.
Oh, wow, my God. So, how did you come up with the title for the book? Why did you decide to call it Self-Love Explained?
You know, when I was
Because there's a lot of books out there, and some of them, they have a similar title.
yes.
What made you choose this title?
It's the explained word, because as I was like, when the idea came to my mind to write the book, you do brainstorming, and I was thinking, I was like, I'm going to explain this, I'm going to explain that, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to explain, and then it just came self-love explained. It's merely about self-love and explaining all that.
Did you choose the title before you write the book or after you're done?
I chose the topic first, yeah. I decided on self-love, and I think it was somewhere during the process.
Okay.
Yeah.
You decided on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
pretty much.
Yeah.
Self-love.
Yes.
So you explain to us what does it mean? It's the title, but I'm sure the whole
Sure.
book talking about this. So
Yes.
It's a long journey.
it's a
Yes.
long journey.
So just to define self-love, and everybody has their own information or vision or perspective about self-love, but to me,
Or beliefs.
beliefs, to me, self-love is a term that is commonly used, and it is related to self-development. So when you say self-love, what comes to my mind is self-care, self-esteem, self-confidence, self-respect,
So many selves.
a lot of
All
a
of
lot
the
of
selves.
like all these, like self-value, accepting yourself, you accepting your perfections and imperfections, and so on. So I imagined self-love, that term, as a river, and all these like self-improvements, kind of like creeks, and they're pouring in that river, the self-love. I believe that self-love is more, how do you say it, يحتوي, or inclusive of all these
Yes.
terms, basically.
So this is your own vision about self-love.
That's
Because everyone has different interpretation or different vision or different view
exactly.
of how do you execute self-love.
Exactly, and that's the main of this book, is to explain this in a way that people simply understand this term and not mix it up with other terms like selfishness or narcissism.
Yeah, we
You're
will
right.
go over that in a minute. But what was your most favorite thing about writing the book, or least favorite? It's a journey. When you you made the promise to yourself you're gonna finish the book, I'm sure, and then you realize how much more time you need or how much more knowledge you need, even though you know a lot. But what was the most favorite thing about it, and what's the least you did not like about writing the book?
I liked doing the researches. I liked writing the chapters one by one, and during that time, actually, I was doing work on myself. It was interesting. I liked the cover design process. It was like right when the book was about ready to be, published, and then we started with the cover, and there was a big process here where I had to do like few covers.
So you hit two birds in one stone. You used it for your master degree, your research, and your.
It was similar. My master's included a lot more than only the self-love topic, but I grabbed some of it
Okay,
from.
that's good. Why
and
not?
added it to the book.
So
Yeah, but yeah, definitely. So that was kind of like part of it. It's like I already have a lot of like researches done already.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
but writing is not an easy thing. So what's the elements of writings? What's the most elements when you write? I mean, you need the idea, but then you need to put it down on paper.
Yeah.
So the style, I know. The
Can
book,
anybody write a book?
No, the book really, the style is really easy. and easy to read, and it's very.
And I like the size of the font. It's a good size. You can read it without glasses.
Yeah.
That makes a difference for
I
people
mean,
to grab it and love it.
And it's practical too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it is to the point.
Yeah.
It's-
So that's the thing that I believe that for a book, for me, this is what I followed is clarity, simplicity, and focusing on the topic. So a lot of books sometimes you read and they're not clear on what they wanted to convey and you get lost in them. So I wanted to make sure that you might notice that self-love, that word, that term is repeated often in the book because
But
it
this
is
is the most
center of the,
This is the idea, the main idea. of the book.
Exactly. And then simplicity also, like good writing is not necessary by
Not to
using
be,
like
like,
big words.
sophisticated or
Exactly.
big words.
It's just simple
No.
words that anyone from any level,
Can
educational level,
understand
can read
or
it and
enjoy
enjoy
it or like
understand
it.
Exactly. And then focusing on the topic, just make sure that you're explaining about this topic, you go and then come back to it and make sure that any idea or any context you put in there is related one way or another to the main topic. So I think these three elements are very important to me.
But it was never your goal to become a writer, or did you always wanted to write a book? Or never passed your mind?
No, like everyone else, I'm going to write a book one day. That's
Okay.
about it.
I said that many times.
Yes,
myself.
exactly. But it actually, it's not hard. And yes, to answer that question before, yes, everyone can write a book.
Yeah.
It's not a big thing actually to write a book. I mean,
So if I
instructional.
want to write my book, what advice will you give me? Since you already removed all the buzzes and you already tried writing a book and you succeeded, and it's really good book.
I think pick a topic that you really have passion for
And
love
enjoy
for,
and love it.
because it's important to writing a book is not an easy thing. You can do it, but it's the continuity is an important thing. And in order
Okay.
to have that eagerness to continue, you got to pick a topic that you really love. And this is one of my passions,
favorite.
psychology.
Yeah,
So-
psychology.
But did you get any help from somebody else?
Absolutely, yes.
Editing,
I
You have
got
to get an editing
editors,
helper.
yes,
Publishing.
definitely.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not
Yes.
easy to publish
Yes.
a book.
No, I didn't know
It's
all
too
this.
much work.
I did take a class about publishing a book from A to Z, and I followed their steps. Absolutely, yes. I would not be able to do it on my own.
Yeah, I'm very sure
No.
we all could use help no matter how much
Yes.
educated
No.
we are. So
Nobody-
now it's time to talk about the book and what's in the book. We wanted to know more information you wrote down
So,
with all your researches.
yeah, just let's start with what the difference between self-love and selfishness or self-centered or...
Yeah, I think that's a very important topic. I'm
Yes.
very glad you
I'll-
covered that in the
Actually,
book.
a lot of people ask me
It
about
helps.
this, and I myself found myself like getting more educated about this as I was doing the research on that. Self-love and selfishness. A lot of people confuse these terms. Selfishness is taking advantage or being self-centered on the expenses of others. Like,
Yes.
I am selfish. I worry about myself. I don't care if this person is going to get affected by my decision or is going to get hurt or anything. It's my life. I'm taking care of it. I'm taking advantage whenever I see it. I don't care about the others. Self-love actually is the opposite. I mean, when we use the term self-love, it's not a fanatical use of the word love. Like, I love myself doesn't mean, oh, I am selfish, I'm narcissistic, I love myself. It's more like I am accepting myself the
You
way
have to
it
make
is.
peace with yourself.
Exactly. You're in alignment with yourself. You're in resonance with yourself. When you actually self-love is opposite of selfishness, in my opinion. Selfishness is like, you don't have empathy for others. You don't care.
Just
You're
care for
focused.
yourself.
I am entitled to things. If this is my benefits, I'm doing it regardless. I see a person who's like a giver person. I like taking whatever. I don't care. I'm not worried about them.
Yeah.
Self-love is actually when you have that self-value, you actually appreciate the others. You have empathy for the others. if you're you won't be able, if you have that self-love fulfillment in you, you won't be able to even think about
share
taking
and
advantage.
help
Exactly.
others.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Sharing, helping, and there's a whole amount of, you're a whole. You don't, there's no, selfishness comes from a lot of lack of self, also probably self-esteem and others, but the decision they made to be selfish is their own decision that is not related to, you know, it's not like self-love where you're actually in love and you're in love with that person in front of you as well, because you know what love means, right? Narcissism, on the other hand, is a totally different thing than selfishness too. Narcissism is the narcissistic personality is the feeling of like grandiose, like I'm the great, I'm the greatest,
but
I'm entitled. So.
But you're in this, like, yeah, like in the middle of all what you're talking about, self is, if you have low self-esteem or low self-confidence, does it come in the way with self-love?
Yeah.
Distracted or just it's an obstacle in the way of?
It's not an obstacle. It is a way. Self-esteem, low self-esteem is an indication of lack of self-love. It's like
and lack of
that
confidence.
river.
Yeah.
Lack of confidence is an indication of a
and
lack
that
of
goes
self-love.
back sometimes to our childhood and the way we're raised and our parents or our culture
but
or
this
our
doesn't
community.
help us to keep looking or improving ourselves or learn how to love yourself first.
Yeah, but the way I look at
distraction.
It works both ways. So if you improve your self-esteem, you're automatically improving your self-love, because the term self-love includes all this. If you're thinking of your self-love and wanting to practice self-love, it actually contributes to your self-esteem as well. So it's not an obstacle. It's recognizing, you know, what you need to do in order to approach this whole.
And then you improve it or you work on it.
It's a holistic, I call it self-love, a holistic approach.
Yes.
You have self-esteem issues, that's an indication of the holistic self-love. You have a confidence issue, you know, that's an indication. You work on this, it gets improved. You figure out that you need some improvement in your self-love level and you dig into it, and then you find that, oh, if I do this, that can help me probably, with knowing it or not, improving my self-esteem.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it, if I don't love myself, who will, right? I mean, we have to love ourselves first to be able to share the love with others.
Yes, definitely, because you see others the way you see yourself.
Exactly.
Our impression about others is the same impression about, like, if I feel low about myself, then I can't see others better than me.
Exactly.
Naturally, right?
It's a mirror of ourselves.
So exactly. So judging people or treating people in a way, that's because I'm treating myself the same way.
Does this has any reason that maybe you had a trauma when you were a child that made you write this book, or how was your childhood? Did you ever have something that really you had to work on and that made you go into psychology and study more? And
absolutely, yes. Who didn't have a trauma?
Especially living in Middle East, right?
Exactly. We all did.
Yes, so just to kind of give you a definition of trauma for people who don't know, you know. A trauma means a shock. Psychological trauma is a psychological shock, right? We have traumas, like we could be exposed to trauma every day. I could be walking out the street now getting hit by a car, and then I develop a trauma having a phobia of crossing the street, for example. You know, and then you work on it and you heal, and it takes time. So that's what's the definition of trauma. Trauma is healable. However, when we have trauma as young during our child development, this trauma affects us in the way we view the world as children, because we're as children are still clear and we're developing a view, a perspective about who we are, about ourselves and about the world. And having a trauma at an early age, then it makes you feel, people take it children take it in many different ways. Some people take it positively, some people develop resilience, some people take it negatively, like the world is not safe, the world is insecure, some people think I gotta work hard, depending on how they take this, you know. And the trauma, if you have trauma in your childhood, it's really hard and difficult to get rid of it and heal from it, but it's possible that you recognize it.
Nowadays with
and
counseling and psychology.
do
With
therapy
help,
and live with it and
professional
know
help,
who you are.
and you
Admit
could
it.
get better, you could get
Exactly.
over
Yeah.
it. You need help.
Deal with it on a daily level,
Yes.
and the family have to be aware of that and support.
Correct. And trauma in this book is actually one section, and the purpose of it, it's really something that needs really specialized person to speak about it, but I added it there because it is part of my experience, and it does affect. Trauma ultimately affects like self-love, self-esteem, and
Yeah.
self-esteem, self-confidence, other
So-
self-issues, and
Yes.
ultimately affects self-love. So from that path, trauma is in the book.
So in chapter 10, in your book, you said self-love can create a better environment. Just tell us a little bit about
Better
how we do
world,
this
yes.
in our daily life.
So self-love, yeah, because if on an individual level,
Like summarize the whole thing because we have 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Let's summarize.
Time
We need more than
flies,
half an hour
right?
with
yes,
Wafa.
so on an individual level, self-love, when you have self-love, self-value, accepting yourself, accepting your faults, living in alignment with yourself, in resonance, that affect your peacefulness, and therefore affect the others around you. You'll find a lot of people like you're in a different vibration around you, happy to be with you, happy to communicate with you. So imagine on a collective level that if everyone develop and work on their self-love,
Sending positive vibes
imagine-
to everyone around
exactly,
you. And
imagine
that's
how
you
the
create
world
a
will
better
be.
environment, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
That's
definitely.
wonderful. That's
Yes.
wonderful.
Definitely.
I mean, time is.
I know. We
It's
like to
running
get
like
into this book a little deeper. Anything else you want to tell us before the show is
so
over?
I just wanted to emphasize, because there's a lot of dilemma about selfishness and self-love. They are totally different items, totally different things. Self-love is valuing yourself, and it doesn't mean that you go and you can like, okay, here's my boundary and get out and you're not coming close because I love myself. It's not this. Self-love is more like a peacefulness state that you're in. You're a whole, you're a complete person, and therefore you're able now to see reality in a different way. It has nothing to do with selfishness, and it has nothing to do with narcissism. It's more deeper than that. So
Wow, that's
Yeah.
very nice what
That's
you
a
just
beautiful
said.
explanation.
Everything you said, it makes a lot of sense. Self-love, I recommend it for everybody. It's really nice. I really enjoyed reading it. You cover a lot, and it's, like I said, the font is big, so you can read it without glasses. Wafa, congratulations
thank
again.
you very much, and thank you for
Congratulations.
having me.
New
It's
book.
a pleasure
It's
to
a
be
beautiful
here.
one.
We'd love to have you again to
The
maybe
teaching one.
learn more about the book, but it's very clear and easy to understand as we read it.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming all the way from the East Bay.
Thank you for being with us. And
Thank you.
inshallah, we'll see you in another
Inshallah.
sessions too.
In the near future.
Inshallah.
Thank you for watching and have a nice weekend.
Thanks. Bye-bye.